Next stop, we are going to work on our status. So in our edit profile, we will have this status. By clicking, it will take you to all available status where you can choose one. So let's build these available statuses as enum. And what we are going to do is in the model, I'm going to select the user, Command N to create a new Swift file. Click next. And this one I'm going to call status. Okay, and here we are going to create a simple enum. Let me just close this so we have more space. And this is gonna be called status. And it's a type of string. Now let's write all our options. I'm going to say case available equals, and we just put available here. And I'm going to copy and paste these a few times so we can just change the names. All right, we have all our options here. And what I want to do is for these to be available as an array so we can feed the information to our table view that can nicely display them in our table view. We are going to create another static variable. And this is going to be an array of status. And then we're going to create an array of all these things. So say var a status, and it's gonna be an empty array. And then we'll do a switch here on our status available. And let's do case by case. So we're going to do all the cases. And we say we're going to append each case into our array. So we say A, which is our array, we're going to append our dot available. And then I just want to say fall true. So it goes to the next case. So let's just copy this and make it for each case. And at the end, we are just going to return A. For the last one, we don't need to fall true because there is nothing left there. So basically, let's see what this one is saying. Did we miss something? Okay, we missed in a meeting. All right, so we have all our items in our status as an array also, and now we can use all these. If you want to add anything extra here or remove something, you can just feel free to add them. I'm going to be keeping only this, and now we're going to back to our storyboard. And here we need another table view now to show our stats. So let me get one. And I'm going to drag from here, control connect this, and this is going to be show. And I'm going to call my segue here. We are going from our edit profile to status. So let's call this edit profile to status seg. Hit enter, command C, we will need this. And let's also change the title here, call this status. All right, and this one, we're not going to change this because this is going to be just a simple table view with a title. So as long as we have a, where is it? Basic with a title here, we are fine with that. So I'm going to go back to my edit profile here. And here, let's see, where is our, no. Yeah, we are looking for our table view, did select row at index path. So we have show status view. And what we need to do is to make sure we are selecting the correct cell, because we have two sections here. The first section is this part and the second section is this one here. So if we are selecting the section 1, which is 0 base, this is section 0, this is section 1. So if we are section 1 and cell 0, it means we can choose this one. So let's see if, then we have index path dot section equals to 1 and index path dot row equals to 0. We just say for now print show status, and let's test this. Let me open this up a little bit, and we go to our edit profile, and I'm going to click this. It says show status. If I click anything else, it doesn't do anything. All right, so let's just click done here, and we are going to add our code now, which will take us to our status view. So let me get rid of this to do here, and also the print statement. So here we want to perform segue with identifier. I'm going to paste my identifier here. Sender is going to be self, and let's make it nicely indented here, and also this. So this will take us to our segue, which will take us to our destination, which is our status table view. but right now we have nothing here to show. So we are going to create a view controller that is going to control this view here. So let's go ahead and do that under our edit profile. Command N. This is going to be a CocoTouch class. Next. And we're choosing a table view controller, and I'm going to call mine status table view controller. Hit enter and let's save it. And the first thing, let's close this at the bottom, and I'm going to get rid of all these number of sections we don't need. Let's just get rid of this as well. Everything else I'm going to delete. So I'm going to keep only the number of rows in section. And let's start from the top. Being this a table view controller, we already have access to our table view instance. So I'm not going to connect that one. So I'm going to just connect mark vars. And let's create a variable which is going to hold our status. And this is going to be array of strings. Remember, our status is enum and it's string. And then we will have just our view lifecycle here. Okay, and I think there is one thing I'm missing from my storyboard. I need to name my cell here so we can reuse this one. So let's go to select your cell. Under identifier, I will call it a cell, and we can get back to our status view. No, status table view. I'm going to close this one and this. All right, so once our view loads, what we want to do is, first of all, you see we have all these empty cells when we have nothing. So let's get rid of this. I will say table view dot table view footer view is equals to UI view, and this will get rid of empty cells. Then we want to load user status, and where we are going to load them from, we are going to do it from our user defaults, because this is where we are going to save them. Currently we have them only as an enum, and that's it. And this function doesn't exist yet, that's why it's complaining. But let's just return number of rows in section. This is gonna be all statuses.count. So how many statuses we have. And then we also want a cell for a row at index path. And this will give us our cell pack. So let's create a cell. And we're going to reuse it. So we ask our table view to dequeue reusable cell with identifier for index path, and identifier is cell. This is how I called mine, and index path, let's just pass this index path here. And then we need to return a cell, because here we are promising that we are going to return a UI table view cell. But what we want to also do is to give some information to our cell. In particular, we want to display this text there. So I will say we need access to our status. So we can do it let status is equals to all status. And then we can access it index path dot row, and this will give us specific status item in our array. And then I can say cell dot text label dot text is equals to our status, which is a string. And one more thing we need to do is, if you check our already application, we have this nice check mark. So wherever we select something, the check mark comes next to it. So let's put our check mark. So cell dot accessory type is equals, and we want to get what our user status is. So we have access to our user object. So let's grab our current user and let's get the status of our current user. and we check if this is equals to the current status that we have here. So if it's equals to the current status, it means our user's status is the same. And if it does, we say dot check mark. Otherwise, we say dot none. So again, this is a short if statement here. If the status we have on this row is equals to the status of our user, then we put a check mark. Otherwise, we put nothing. All right, let's do the load status, because right now we have called a function that doesn't exist and it's complaining. To mark loading. And here I'm going to create a private func load status, load user status. This is how we call it. Right, and let's say all statuses is equals, and we access our user defaults that we have created. And then I want to get an object for key, and we haven't saved it yet to our user defaults, but we are going to save it under specific key so we can get it back. Let's go to our constants, and here I'm going to create another key, and under my current user, let's just copy this, paste it here. We say k status and call this status. Command P, so we have access to this. Back, and here we are going to pass our status. So we want this for key k status, and I'm going to specify that whatever we are getting back is an array of strings, because we know that we are going to save array of strings under this key. And once we get this back, I want to say table view reload data, so everything we have in our table view will be refreshed, and then we're going to be presented whatever we just put it in our all status array. Everything is nice here. The code will work, but we haven't saved anything in our user defaults. So in our next lecture, we are going to take all our user statuses and we're going to save them in our user defaults.